Chesed, in himself, is the innermost. According to the Hindus, he is Atman. It has been said that Chesed is directly governed by Jupiter and nothing else. This is false, because the innermost is Martian, a warrior, a fighter. This is not accepted by many Kabbalists who might even consider it absurd. But whosoever has a direct experience in Chesed knows very well that Chesed is a warrior. It is the innermost who has to be in a struggle to the death against darkness, who has to fight very hard for his own intimate realization of the self. He is always in battle. It is obvious that he has something of Jupiter, because he can grasp the scepter of kings. I do not deny it, but it is a false statement that he is only an exclusively Jupiterian. Atman is our innermost, our divine satiety, the seventh principle, who is in all beings, but who is not within all human beings. In order for oneself to be fused with Atman, the following experience is required: to depart in the astral body by abandoning the physical body. Afterwards, one has to abandon the astral body by ordering the following: go out of me. In order to perform this, willpower is required. So when doing this, the astral body leaves through the vertebral column, and we remain in the world of the mind. Afterwards, one has to abandon the mental body by commanding the following: body of the mind, go out of me. This is performed with an act of willpower, and one remains with the causal body that also has to be ordered to get out of us. This also requires a great effort. The body of conscious will obeys better, and one orders it to go out and abandon the 33 vertebrae, leaving oneself with the Buddhic or intuitional body. This body is very obedient and also has to be ordered to go out. Thus, in this way, one remains in the world of Chesed, in the world of Atman, the ineffable one. In the world of Atman, one has the feeling of being a complete human being. Here, the intellectual animal is not a human being. The initiate feels full of immense plenitude. This is the world of the real human being in the most objective sense. His negative part is the physical world. The world of Atman is a positive state. Here we see a city in its most real form, because if we look at a table, we see it through many viewpoints: from above, from below, from within, from without, and the same occurs when we look at a mountain. Within a kitchen, one can see how many atoms cutlery is made with, how many molecules are in the bread or meat that one is about to eat. We not only perceive solids in an integral form, but moreover, we perceive hypersolids, including the exact quantity of atoms that in their conjunction constitute the totality of any given body. If the student is not prepared, he is deceived, because he finds himself within a world filled with the crudest reality. This is the world of mathematics. Here, one sees the drama of nature. One is a spectator of nature. The world of mathematics is the world of Atman. The one that thinks is the mind, not the innermost. The human mind in its current state of evolution is the animal that we carry within. The concept of Descartes' "I think, therefore I am," is completely false. Because the true human being is the innermost, and the innermost does not think because he knows. Atman does not need to think because Atman is omniscient. Our innermost is yes, yes, yes. The wisdom of our innermost is yes, yes, yes. The love of our innermost is yes, yes, yes. When we say I am hungry, I am thirsty, we are affirming something absurd, because the innermost is not hungry, neither thirsty. The one that is hungry and thirsty is the physical body. Therefore, the most correct way to say this is, my body is hungry, my body is thirsty. The same happens with the mind when we say, I have a powerful mental force, I have a problem, I have such a conflict, I have such suffering, some thoughts are arising in me. We then are affirming very grave errors, because these things are from the mind and not from the innermost. The true human being is the innermost. He does not have problems. Problems are from the mind. The innermost must whip the mind with the terrible whip of willpower. The human being that identifies with the mind falls into the abyss. The mind is the donkey that we must ride in order to enter into the heavenly Jerusalem. We must command the mind in this way. Mind, withdraw this problem from me. Mind, withdraw such desire from me, etc. I do not allow you to have it. I am your Lord, and you are my slave until the consummation of all centuries. Woe to the human being that identifies with the mind, because he will lose the innermost and will culminate in the abyss. Those that say that everything is mind, thought, commit a very grave error, because the mind, thought, is only one of the bodies of the innermost. All of those books that tend to totally identify the human being with the mind are legitimate books of black magic, because the true human being is not the mind. We must not forget that the most subtle and dangerous demons that exist in the universe abide in the mental plane. The innermost talks to the mind as follows. Do not say that your eyes are your eyes, because I see through them. Do not say that your ears are your ears, because I hear through them. Do not say that your mouth is your mouth, because I utter through it. Your eyes are my eyes, your ears are my ears, and your mouth is my mouth. Within the internal worlds, we can cast the mental body out of ourselves in order to talk with it face to face, as if it was a strange person. Then we will deeply comprehend that the mind is a strange subject, that we must learn to drive with the terrible whip of willpower. The den of desire is within the mind. The innermost is a true human being that lives incarnated within the human body, and that all of us carry crucified in our heart. When the human being awakens from his dream of ignorance, then he delivers himself to his own innermost. Then the innermost unites himself with the Christ, and the human being becomes powerful as the Absolute from where he emanated. The innermost is God within the human being. The human being who ignores the great truth is only a shadow of his innermost. The symbol of the innermost is the star of 5 points, the pyramid, the cross of equal arms, the scepter. Geburah is severity, the law. Buddhi, the spiritual soul. The Valkyrie that was spoken of by that illustrious Spanish writer, Mr. Mario Rosa de Luna. And Geburah is also the beautiful Helen. Geburah, Buddhi, has exclusively been considered Martian. This is a mistake, because in the world of the spiritual soul, who is feminine, we find the lion of the law that is solar. Thus, we find the severity of the law in Geburah. But as well, we find the nobleness of the lion. Therefore, the Buddhic intuitional world is completely solar. Geburah is the law of justice. The world of Geburah is based on justice. The masters of karma base themselves on the consciousness in order to judge in the tribunal of karma. The masters of karma are judges of consciousness. Justice is beyond good and evil. When you reach the light, you will know what love is. And when you know what love is, you will know how to love, and will comprehend that conscious love is the law. Thus, to perform a good deed is not what counts, but to know how to perform it. The chief of the archons of the law is the Master Anubis, who exercises the law with his 42 judges. When they officiate, they utilize a sacred mask with the form of the head of a jackal or a feathered wolf, which is an emblem of truth. Justice is the supreme mercy. Within the tribunal of karma, whosoever has capital in order to pay comes off well in their negotiations. We must constantly perform good deeds in order for us to have capital for the payment of our debts of this life and past lives. To evade justice is impossible because the police of karma are within us. This is Kaum. Wherever love is lacking, the Kaum, the police, the accuser appears, who conducts us before the tribunal of the law. To cancel karma is possible with good deeds. This is how we combat the lion of the law. When an inferior law is transcended by a superior law, then the superior law washes away the inferior law. Karma is not a mechanical law. It can be forgiven. perform good deeds in order to cancel your debts. Each one of us has a book where our faults are registered on the day and hour that they are committed. Karma is forgiven within us when we become totally inoffensive, when we are not capable of performing evil against anyone. Karma is a medicine that is granted unto us. Buddha said there are 3 eternal things in life: the law, nirvana, and space. Tiphereth is the groom of the bride. It is the superior manas of Eastern theosophy. It is none other than the human soul, the causal body. It is that soul who suffers and gives that very human part unto us. We must distinguish between what the human soul is and what Tiphereth is in itself. It is very easy to mistake Tiphereth with the causal body. The causal body becomes the vehicle of Tiphereth. Some Kabbalists presume that Tiphereth, the world of the human soul, or properly called the world of the Son of Man, is governed by the sun. Really, this is not so, because it is governed by Venus. This is why Christ is crucified on Holy Friday, and this is something that we must meditate upon. The wedding of Guinevere, the divine Amazon, the divine soul, to the knight, who is the human soul, is a marvelous event within which we experience a radical transformation. This is because Buddhi is like a fine and transparent glass of alabaster, within which the flame of prajna, the being, is burning. Esoteric Hindu texts constantly mention the famous Trimurti, Atman, Buddhi, Manas. This Trimurti is the innermost with his 2 souls, the feminine spiritual soul and the masculine human soul. The source and foundation of high magic is found in the perfect betrothal of Buddhi, Manas, within the purely spiritual regions or in the terrestrial world. The initiatic colleges teach with complete clarity that the beautiful Helen is Buddhi, the spiritual soul of the 6th Venustic initiation, the feminine Shakti potential of the internal being. The beautiful Helen of Troy is the same Helen in the Faust of Gautier. Helen clearly signifies the betrothal of Nous, Atman Buddhi, with Manas, the human soul. A union through which consciousness and willpower are combined. Therefore, both souls are bestowed with divine powers as a result of such a union. The essence of Atman, who is the primordial universe and the eternal divine fire, is found within Buddhi, who in complete conjunction with Manas determines the masculine feminine. She and he, Buddhi and Manas, are the twin souls within us, even when the intellectual animal still does not have them incarnated. They are the 2 adored children of Atman. They are the eternal bride and groom who are always in love. The eternal lady, the spiritual soul, always demands from her knight, the human soul, all types of outrageous sacrifices and prodigies of courage. Fortunate will be the knight that after the hard battle will celebrate his betrothal with Guinevere, the queen of the Jinn Knights. The intellectual animal, mistakenly called man, has incarnated within himself a fraction of the human soul. That fraction of soul is denominated essence. In Japanese Zen, it is simply named Buddhata, which is the psychic material with which we can and must build the golden embryo. Lamentably, the essence dreams, lying within that grotesque conjunction of submerged and tenebrous entities, which constitute the ego, the myself, the itself. Nonetheless, such essence is the raw matter needed in order to build soul. This concept still has not been very well understood by our Gnostic students. The Chinese Tao clearly teaches that the essence, which is bottled up within all of these conjunctions of devil eyes, which constitute the ego, has to pass through incessant alchemical transformations in the ninth sphere before converting itself into the seminal pearl. The seminal pearl is developed by means of sexual magic and the formidable work with the lance of Longus, with which we convert the animal ego into cosmic dust in order to be converted into the auric embryo. The marvelous reflex of the sexual energy in a form of a luminous whirlwind, like when a ray of light returns after crashing against a wall, comes to crystallize within ourselves as the auric flower. Thus, this establishes within the neophyte a permanent center of consciousness. The auric embryo, dressed with the wedding garment of the soul, truly experiences a supreme joy in the moment in which it is fused with the human soul. From that moment, it can be said that we are human beings with soul, sacred individuals, truly responsible people in the most complete sense of the word. All of the experiences of life are found contained within the auric embryo. That is why it is clear that the auric embryo originates deep transformations within the pneumatic, immortal principles of the human being. This is how we convert ourselves into adepts of the White Brotherhood. The world of Tiphereth is the world of willpower. In that world, only the will of the Father is done on earth as it is in heaven. It is a world which is beyond the mind. It is of an intense electric blue color. Many other colors exist, but the fundamental one is blue. One finds in this world of natural causes many bodhisattvas who work under the direction of their real being. Music and sound prime within this world. Whosoever reaches the fifth initiation of the fire becomes an adept and has the right to enter into the world of music. Here we find the temple of the music of the spheres. One of the guardians of that temple is a great master who, when he was alive in the physical world, was called Beethoven. He is a great initiate. His 9 symphonies are marvelous. Everyone who reaches this region has to learn the fundamental notions of music, because music is the verb. In that sublime region, the music of the spheres is heard. It is based on the 3 compasses of Mahavan and Kotavan, which keeps the universe in its rhythm, and its march is perfect, for there cannot be an error in this music. Within the region of Tiphereth, the cloth of Veronica is found, which signifies Christic willpower, meaning one has to perform the will of the Father. To obtain conscious will is impossible without working in the 9th sphere. Many places exist where people are submitted to tremendous tortures in order to acquire conscious will, but really, they only store some energy. The true fakir has his guru, and he does not leave India. The fakirs acquire many powers, but nothing else. Some of them raise an arm and they do not lower it ever again. The arm becomes withered. They pursue willpower with such actions, but their willpower does not pass beyond such action. They do not achieve the building of the body of conscious will. All of this miraculous stuff deviates people. Therefore, the fakirs are deviated. Once the body of conscious will is built, one becomes a twice born.